to the end. We're going to be doing an entire trial balance question from the beginning to the end, and we'll cover all aspects that are required to understand the trial balance. Hi, welcome back to your accounting help, and today we're going to do a question on trial balance. Let's not waste any time. The question says Jaha extracted the following balances from his ledger on 31st December. Present them in the format of a trial balance. Now we're not going to be wasting time reading the entire question. We're going to directly move into answering it, as answering this is going to involve also rereading the question again. Now before we start answering this, we need to understand the rule of entries so as to be able to balance the trial balance. Now the rule of entries is you are required to debit all assets and expenses. So all accounts that fall under assets and all accounts that fall under expenses are required to be debited. On the other hand, income, capital, and liability accounts are supposed to be credited. What does this mean? This means that in the normal course of operations, income, capital, and liabilities are expected to have a credit balance, whereas assets and expenses are expected to have a debit balance. Without further ado, let's start with the question. Beginning with cash in hand. Cash in hand is an asset, so we are going to simply put the balance in the asset, in the debit side, okay? Moving on to cash at bank, it's also an asset, so you're going to simply put the balance on the debit side. See how simple this is? So the main thing is to know whether an account falls under assets, under expenses, under income, under capital, and under liabilities. And you're also supposed to remember the rule of entries. Now moving forward, we're going to the sales account. The sales account is an income, therefore it's going to have a credit balance. So you're going to put the amount on the credit side. Okay? There we have it. Now down here you can see I already put the sum of the entire columns, so that the total is going to be adjusting as we put in more balances. Moving on to the purchases. The purchase is an expense account, therefore it is going to be debited, so we're going to put in the amount. Moving on to motor vehicles. Motor vehicles are non-current assets, therefore they're also going to be put on the credit side. Rent and rates, these are expense accounts, so they're also going to be put on the debit side. Light and electricity as well are expenses, so they're also going to be put on the debit side. Carriage inward is also an expense, so it is also going to be put on the debit side. Carriage outward is also an expense. Opening stock is an asset, so it is going to be put on the debit side. Miscellaneous income, this is income, so it's naturally going to be on the credit side. The rule of entry says income accounts are going to be credited, so you're going to credit the amount. And then capital is also on the rule of entries. Capital is also going to be credited, so we're going to be crediting the entire 8 million. Drawings are going to be debited. Wages are an expense account, so they're also going to be debited. Salaries are also an expense account. Debtors are an asset account. Creditors are a liability account, so they're going to be debited. Furniture is an asset account, so it is going to be debited. Land and building are an asset account, so they're going to be debited. And finally, a loan is a liability, so we are going to credit. As you can see, the entire debits equal the entire credits, and there we have our full trial balance. So basically, this is how easy it is to draw up a trial balance, given from the beginning, from the journal entries to transferring the entries into the ledger accounts was done accurately, then the trial balance will definitely come up easily, provided you are able to identify the account, whether it falls under assets, whether it falls under expenses, whether it is in income, capital, or liabilities. And you also have to remember the rule of entries. So that's it for today's video. I hope you have understood the trial balance and it is now not going to be disturbing you. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Like this video, share it with your friends. It helps me keep on making more videos. Thank you for watching. Until next time.